Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
That's what all my Christmas pictures as a child looked like. Okay, so that's how all my Christmas pictures look like even as an adult. I grew up in Iowa, and Iowa has sometimes fierce winters, snow, ice, slush, bad drivers. But of course, the Pacific Northwest has many bad drivers as well. In fact, when any driver in the Seattle area sees snow, they totally freak out and think that the sky is falling. They just don't really understand what's going on, largely because a lot of them have moved up here from California, not understanding that precipitation precipitates the need to drive differently. And as such, I've got a top 5 tips submitted not by an American, but by someone living apparently in Russia, or in that particular region of the galaxy, or world, as the case would be. And I thought it was quite interesting. I'll do my best to read those tips, but as he notes in the beginning, I heard about your top 5 list and decided to send you my top 5 about how to keep your car and your nerves in good condition during the winter season and the Christmas season. He notes, sorry for my bad English, I'm not American. So let's begin. Tip number 1, store your car, if at all possible, inside a garage or in a closed type of parking area. It's very important to keep your car from the snow because A, it'll always stay cleaner, and B, you'll not waste your time cleaning it from the snow before riding. It's best to keep your car in a warm place to help the snow to thaw after rides. Very true. In fact, as a teenager, it drove me nuts because my parents could keep their vehicles inside the garage, whereas I was stuck with scraping. Ugh. And if you've never scraped your car, it's not something that's enjoyable, not by any degree. Tip number 2, keep your fuel tank as full as you can. Even if you didn't know this fact before, the temperature difference between cold conditions outside and warm conditions inside a fuel tank causes the process of water condensation, which, if cold suddenly strikes, can cause an ice fuse, as he quotes, in fuel hoses. And for this reason, someday you will not be able to power your car's engine because fuel cannot be able to reach the engine. But if your fuel tank will always be filled with gas, if the gas will supersede all the water drops, or be more plentiful than water, then they will simply be burned in the engine with the fuel. If you follow this simple tip, you'll always be able to start your engine in winter normally without any problems. And to piggyback that, as far as fuel is concerned, it's always good to have in your garage as well just a couple of gallons of gas. This is a good time to go out and pick it up, or the next time you fill up your tank, just go into the gas station and pick up just an empty can and fill it with fuel, and then take it home, stick it in the garage. It's going to be good for just a short period of time. I mean, I wouldn't keep it much longer than a year. You want to dispose of it properly, but you never know during that time when you would need it. Now, Wireless Packet in the chat room had mentioned that Pennzoil makes a product that you can actually keep in your car that can push you 2 to 3 miles up the road if you happen to run out of gas. And I don't know if he's got the specific name of that, but if he wants to chime in at any point during the rest of this recording, he's more than welcome to, just so we can point.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now, but it's on Pennzoil's website. It's in a 1-quart container, and it was about $9. And you just leave it in the trunk of your car, and if you ever run out of gas, you can just put it in the fuel tank and just go to a gas station.
It's enough for a couple of miles, and that's exactly what you would want it for. Because believe me, that's one of those things that you wish you would have had, and you didn't have it when you needed it. Number 4,
Also, AAA subscription.
Oh yeah, I've got a AAA subscription, and then sometimes where you get your car from, they have similar types of towing services and whatnot, just in case, or gas refill services and whatnot. I'm sorry, not 4, 3. We've been throwing some extra tips in there. Sorry about that, Michael. Hope you don't mind. Tip number 3, after washing your car, blow all your locks on your car's doors with a hairdryer. And he notes, this isn't a joke. Remember, how many times have you tried to open a frozen door of your car after a wash? It's a good tip if you have a garage with a power socket. So after washing your car, park it in a warm place, like in a garage, and take a simple hairdryer and blow the car locks with it. You must blow warm airflow directly inside the lock for a minute or two to make it totally dry. Then take a dry cloth and wipe out the water from the lock mechanism on the side of the door. And your doors will open and close without any problems. As an option, you can put inside your door lock some kind of auto grease to prevent lock sticking during cold winter days and nights. Interesting tip. Number 4, keep an eye on your window washer liquid level. Oh, last year when the power outage hit, I needed this. I really needed this because we had gas, we could get around, but I couldn't find any washer fluid anywhere in the area, and it was just, it was so hellish. So this is a great tip. You wouldn't think about it, but next time you go out to get gas, pick up some extra gas, pick up some window washer fluid. It's dirty outside, isn't it? To drive safely, it's very important to have a clean windshield. Go to your closest vehicle hardware store and buy good washer liquid for your car. Do not buy cheap products because they can contain chemicals which can be dangerous for your life. Do not buy liquid which contains methanol because when in the air, it transforms into deadly carbon monoxide, which is very dangerous if inhaled. Indeed. Tip number 5, how to drive your car safely during winter. Simple. And this is especially for those of you who are my neighbors up here in the Seattle area. I hope you're listening, especially to this tip. Remember, there's ice on the road, potentially. And you know the worst kind of ice on the road is the ice that you can't see. Black ice. Black ice in the sense that you didn't even know it was there. You thought it was wet, and in fact it was ice. It's very dangerous, especially over bridges. You got to watch out for that. So increase your speed slowly as you accelerate. I said slowly. Give some time for your car's wheels to gain traction on the ice. And B, remember that the stopping distance for your car varies from the weather conditions. In winter, it becomes much bigger, the distance between the next vehicle and yours, than in summer in dry conditions because of the ice and slippery roads. So brake in advance to prevent collision. A good braking technique in winter is to repeatedly braking technique. Try to push a brake pedal repeatedly so your brake lips, I guess that's what they call them in Russia, or that's the translation, your brakes can clean brake the disc from clean the brake disc from dirt and snow and effectively stop your car. Now, I'm going to add this here because I don't know if he's got it. That's for those of you who don't have an anti-lock brake system, an ABS system, and now would also be a good time to check your vehicle, check to see what kind of braking system you have. The pumping is only good if you do not have an anti-lock brake system. If it's an anti-lock brake system, do not pump the brakes. If it's ABS, just put your foot on the brake, the car will do the rest. It's a very, very important tip, especially if you're a new driver or a driver in Seattle who's an absolute idiot on the road when it snows. C, before winter season, change your car. Are you getting the feeling that I've run into a few idiot drivers in the Seattle area? Okay, before winter season, change your car's interior air filter to have warm airflows in your car, clean, powerful, and without any smell. So, thanks for reading this. I hope these tips are useful to you and other drivers. Best regards, Michael, a.k.a. Deep Sintez. Deep Sintez. Well, Michael, this is very cool. Number 1, it's a great list of tips, especially this time of year. And number 2, the fact that you're writing all the way from that part of the world. I mean, I'm over here in Seattle, but, you know, it's really neat. I love how YouTube has connected me with a lot of people, how the internet has connected me with a lot of people, and certainly, you know, great tips, even if you're not from my part of the world. These tips apply here as much as they do there. Winter's just about the same, just as cold, potentially at least, growing up in Iowa, certainly. But connecting with people on a daily basis without any kind of geographical boundaries has been a fantastic experience. And certainly this is somewhat of a different holiday for me because I've never really used video in this capacity. So I'm going to be celebrating part of Christmas Day and certainly the day after Christmas with the computer giveaway with a lot of you. And, if you've got any top 5 tips, no matter where you're from or what you want to talk about. See, none of this had to do with technology, but we use the internet in this video to communicate these tips to everybody. So email any kind of top 5 tips you might have to me. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. If you write broken English, well, do your best. I'll do my best to translate it. Of course, writing it the best way possible so that I can read it is most helpful. But regardless, my email address, again, is chris@pirillo.com. And if you'd like to join us at any time, whether it's Christmas Day or the day after Christmas or any time during the holiday season, if you're feeling lonely or if you just want to connect with other people, or any time during the year, we'll take you. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we're typically talking tech, sharing
Chris?
tips and tricks. Yes, Lenny, Wireless Packet, you have something else to add?
I just wanted to add one thing.
Sure.
With the washer fluid, Rain-X makes a great product.
Good one. Good one. Rain-X
Okay.
to put on the...
And also, use the Rain-X pads on the interior of the windows
for fogging.
to help prevent fogging.
Genius. Wow. Boy, we just jam-packed this one full. And I'm sure there are people out there who've got things to add in here as well. See, this is what the whole idea is about, sharing knowledge, sharing information, and trying to get through winter together. And hopefully I'll never meet you on the road because I'm probably as bad a driver as everybody else out there. Sorry about that. Anyway, if you'd like to join us in the chat room, as I said, we're always here waiting for you to interact. People have been interacting here without you, so why don't you join us? Swing by. We're waiting for you at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.